Hello, I'm Peter Bergman. This is my official YouTube channel. I'll be updating you with the latest news, so please subscribe to my channel.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today is a beautiful Wednesday, and we are absolutely thrilled to dive back into the drama with you all. Grab a cozy drink, settle in, and let's get right into the heart of Genoa City's latest shockers. Okay, I literally cannot believe this. Can we please process this mess together? Unbelievable, guys. What's going on here? Might delete this later, but I seriously can't stay silent about this anymore. It is literally 3 a.m. My eyes are burning. My sleep schedule is completely non-existent, and I just hit record because my brain is absolutely short-circuiting over the sheer, unadulterated trauma that Times the Young and the Restless Times is forcing us to endure right now. Please tell me I'm not the only one losing my mind over this. I am sitting here in the dark, spiraling through a chaotic feedback loop of transcendent hype and absolute narrative betrayal, dumping my unedited psychic damage onto the digital hive mind because I need the Times-only time circle that speaks this language to witness my existential collapse. We are watching the absolute destruction of a legacy, and honestly, I am low-key shaking just thinking about it. Listen, we have to look at the facts because the setup for this is a total game changer, and it has been staring us in the face this entire time. Victor Newman just pulled one of the most ruthless major flexes in the history of Newman Enterprises. He successfully regained control of the company, and what does he do? He honors his promise to hand Chancellor over to Lily Winters. Lily is ecstatic. She is out here scoring massive victories, asking Kane Ashby to step in and run the company, basically living her absolute best life while the rest of Genoa City burns. But honestly, this isn't about Lily's low-key obsessions with corporate dominance. This is about the collateral damage. This is about the ripple effect of Victor's hubris that is literally tearing his own family apart at the seams. Look, Nick Newman literally called this. He stood there at the Newman Ranch staring his father down and explicitly complained about Victor giving Chancellor to Lily. Why? Because Nick knew with absolute terrifying certainty that this would deeply, irreparably hurt Nikki Newman. Chancellor isn't just some random asset on a spreadsheet. It is the legacy of Catherine Chancellor, Nikki's dearest friend, her anchor in a world of chaos. For Victor to just hand it over to Lily like it's a meaningless poker chip is a profound, soul-crushing betrayal. Honestly, Nick was trying to be the voice of reason, trying to protect his mother from the emotional fallout of Victor's corporate sociopathy, but Victor didn't listen. He never listens! And basically, that exact arrogance is what has led us to this unspeakable tragedy. Suddenly, the narrative just snaps, and we are thrust into the most harrowing, gut-wrenching climax imaginable. Nikki Newman, the undisputed matriarch, the survivor of MS, alcoholism, and decades of Victor's psychological warfare, finally reaches her breaking point. The stress of this Chancellor betrayal, the realization that her husband will always choose the thrill of the deal over her heart, is the final, fatal blow. We are literally watching Nikki Trudhother Koi Kung taking her absolute last breath. I am screaming. How did we get here? The visual of Nikki fading away, her strength completely depleted by the endless cycle of Newman toxicity, is a frame that packs a lethal crunch. It is an emotional ambush that I was fundamentally unprepared for. Basically, we are now forced to envision the aftermath. Nick and Victoria weeping openly, broken and shattered, standing by their mother's coffin. Let's just deep dive into the sheer, agonizing psychology of this moment. Nick, who just days ago was begging his father to see reason, now has to stare at the physical manifestation of Victor's failure. Nick is crying by the coffin, and you just know his grief is violently entangled with absolute, blinding rage. He times Warren, times him. He literally said this would hurt her, but he didn't know it would kill times her. The guilt Nick must be feeling, wondering if he could have pushed harder, if he could have stopped Victor, is going to fundamentally rewrite his entire character arc. This isn't just sadness. This is a total apocalyptic paradigm shift for Nicholas Newman. Listen, Victoria being there, sobbing by the coffin, is what absolutely shatters me into a million pieces. Victoria has spent her entire life trying to emulate Victor, trying to be the cold, calculating heir to the throne. But in this moment, looking down at her mother, who has taken her last breath, all of that corporate armor dissolves. She is just a little girl who has lost her mom. Honestly, the juxtaposition of Victoria's usual icy demeanor completely melting into raw, unfiltered agony is one of the most powerful things I can even conceptualize. She has to realize that the company she sacrificed her soul for is the exact same machine that ground her mother into dust. Look, I need us to really vividly picture this coffin scene because it is haunting my waking nightmares. The room is heavy, suffocatingly silent, stripped of all the usual Newman bravado. There are no corporate takeovers happening here, no press conferences, just the cold, harsh reality of death. Victoria is standing there in stark black, stripped of her usual vibrant power suits, looking so incredibly small. Nick is gripping the edge of the mahogany casket, his knuckles turning white, his tears falling silently onto the polished wood. Basically, you can see the exact moment his heart hardens against Victor forever. This isn't a temporary rift. This is a permanent, insurmountable wall built on the grave of their mother. The lighting is dim, casting these long, jagged shadows across their faces, perfectly mirroring the absolute darkness that has just swallowed the Newman legacy whole. Whoa, I've really gone off chasing butterflies into another dimension. My brain is literally moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and I am projecting decades of trauma onto a single wooden box. Bringing the signal back, let's stick to the script. Let's look at what is actually happening in the timeline while this tragedy unfolds. Look, while his family is imploding and Nikki is facing this catastrophic end, what in the actual world is Victor Newman doing? He is at the ranch, playing twisted psychological mind games with Matt. Are you kidding me? Victor is literally holding Matt hostage, making him take showers and change clothes, subjecting him to a rigorous test of sincerity to see if he can be useful. I am losing my mind. Your wife is literally dying. Your children are preparing to weep over a coffin, and you are busy playing puppet master with some random guy in your guest house. The sheer, unadulterated absurdity of this contrast is a lethal crunch to my sanity. It proves, without a shadow of a doubt, that Victor's priorities are fundamentally, irreparably broken. Listen, we also have to talk about how completely oblivious the rest of the world is to this impending doom. Lily Winters is over at Society, practically glowing, asking Kane Ashby how he feels about running chancellor for her. And Kane is just overwhelmed with emotion because his twins, Maddie and Charlie, sent a group text praising him for helping Malcolm get out of the hospital. It's all sunshine, rainbows, and corporate victories for them. They have absolutely no idea that their massive victory is the exact weapon Victor used to strike the fatal blow against his own wife. Honestly, the sheer dramatic irony of Lily celebrating her new empire while the former queen of that very empire takes her last breath is a level of Shakespearean tragedy I was not prepared for at 3 a.m. Wait, why are we like this? Am I jumping to conclusions? Maybe Nikki isn't actually gone. Maybe this is a classic soap opera fake-out, a medically induced coma to teach Victor a lesson. I mean, honestly, Nikki has survived literally everything. She cannot just be dead. But wait. No. The finality of taking her last breath, the absolute devastating imagery of Nick and Victoria at the coffin, it feels too real. It feels like the writers have finally crossed the Rubicon. I am contradicting myself because my heart refuses to accept what my brain knows is happening. I am overflowing with emotion, and I am just trying to organize my thoughts in real time, but the panic is absolutely taking over. Suddenly, my brain is jumping to how the rest of Genoa City is going to react to this seismic shockwave. Think about Phyllis Summers for a second. She is currently spiraling at Crimson Lights, feeling like a total outcast because Daniel ruthlessly rejected her attempts to make amends. Sharon is literally playing therapist, telling Phyllis she needs to fight back and regain control. But wait, what happens when the news of Nikki's death hits them? Phyllis and Nikki have been the most iconic, bitter, blood feud rivals for decades. Honestly, I think Phyllis is going to absolutely short circuit. Will she feel a twisted sense of grief? Will she realize that all her petty squabbles and corporate whining are completely meaningless in the face of actual mortality? Basically, the fallout is going to trigger a massive psychological reset for every single character on this canvas. I am literally pacing around my studio apartment right now, knocking over empty energy drink cans, just trying to make sense of this. My followers are probably going to wake up to this upload and think, I have completely lost my grip on reality. And honestly, they wouldn't be wrong. I am a shell of a human being right now. I have invested years, decades, into defending Nikki Newman's honor online, fighting in the trenches of Twitter, only for the writers to deliver this absolute gut punch. It is a major flex of emotional terrorism by the writing room, and I am low-key obsessed with how much I hate it. Please tell me I'm not the only one losing my mind over this. I need validation. I need a support group. I need Victor Newman to face the consequences of his actions for once in his miserable, power-hungry life. Basically, this entire situation is a chaotic feedback loop of pain. I am sitting here, a legacy stan, watching the show. I have dedicated my life to just rip my heart out and stomp on it. Victor's decision to hand Chancellor to Lily was the catalyst, the spark that ignited the powder keg, and now Nikki is gone. Nick and Victoria are left to pick up the shattered pieces of their lives, crying by a coffin that shouldn't even be there yet. Meanwhile, Noah is just hyped about online buzz for the Shadow Room, completely unaware that his grandmother is gone. Honestly, I don't know how the show moves forward from this. I don't know how Times move forward from this. This is the ultimate lore-shattering climax, and I am just here dumping my unedited psychic damage onto you all because I have literally nothing else left.
Thank you for watching my video. I will be updating regularly with the latest news, so please remember to subscribe to my channel to support me.